quick reminder before we get started to hit the subscribe button for more on the mind, body, and spirit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ken, aka The Phoenix. It's another workout video for you here today, and what we got going on here is some leg day. We're going to use what I refer to as the monkey feet. This is predominantly how I train my legs using dumbbells, because this attaches onto your feet and then the other attaches onto the weight of choice. So it's been a while, so please no judgments, but we're going to start off with a 20-pound dumbbell, and what we're going to do is we're going to be doing some hamstring curls and leg kickbacks. It's typically how I do. Now this is my first time actually using this with a shoe. Fun fact, I don't know. I'm used to using this with my bare feet, so we'll see how it works. It seems to be a little wonky, but nothing I won't be able to get used to. So, all right, here's a nice test. Ooh, that was tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So typically how I approach these workouts is similar to the pyramid we did last workout video with descending up and going down, except ascending up and going down rather. This time I just simply start with 12 and then I descend from there, and I drop it by 2, so I do 12, then 10, then 8, and 6, and then 4, usually 4 and 2 I combine into 1, so I just do 2 sets of 6 back to back. But by that time it's really killer, and it really gets your hamstring going. So I'm going to do the best I can to count while I speak, because today was a very interesting day. And I know in my most recent video that where I was talking about the prophecies and messages I have received, I had like an interesting day today, to say. Like, this connection, it never ends. And I was at work and I connected to the Holy Spirit and closed my eyes and just relaxed, let the message flow through me. And that message, the first one that I got, it was that a reassurance. Jesus' voice came through. Hold on, this is 12. Okay. Now I'll take a little bit of a breather before we jump into the next one, because rest is important. Don't let people lie to you about that. But basically, I was able to, in fact, I'm going to sit down a little far off. That's okay. So I had a message today, and what Jesus said to me was that I now know what Go West means, and he kind of doubled down and told me to follow those instructions when everything falls. While he's speaking these words to me, what I see in my mind is I see your double helix, your 2-strand DNA. I see that, and then it multiplied by 2. So there were 2 parallel strands of DNA, and then a third one appeared. So we had all 3 existing separate going horizontally, and then they combined again to make like this constant vortex with 6-strand DNA, and it was just like this massive twist, cyclone basically is what it looked like. And then it basically was just like, you do not have to worry about food or water or resources. Literally go west and you will be able to, like, my body will just know how to transfer like sunlight or any like this abundance of energy that is all around us. My body will like just gain the ability to absorb it and utilize it as fuel. And that was like kind of mind-blowing, because I never thought about it that way, right? Every sort of end time scenario, or grifter as I would like to call them, you know, those old televangelists that would try to pawn all this food off on you. You know, there's a special place where they're going. You know, all these people that hurt millions of people and convinced them that the world was going to end. I mean, again, I do love accountability, and I think that is definitely one thing to take into consideration. So those people that sold everything for nothing, essentially, you know, they shouldn't be too angry with them, but at the same time, it is an unfortunate situation, and I hope that those people learn from it. But with that said, let's go ahead and get back into number 2. So we're doing 10 now. 1. And this is the first time I'm doing this workout in a while. 2, at least 2 months. 3. So I am, again, being cautious. 4, to not hurt myself. 5. 6. The last thing you want to do is injure yourself, because you'll just set yourself back more. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, oh man, I left my water in the house. That's frustrating, because I could really use a water break. We are going to do one more here, and then I'm going to run inside really quick, really test the range on this microphone as I run inside and get some water from the actual house, and then come back. That'll be fun to do. Okay. All right, so we hang that like that, and then we have 10 more to go. So this is actually, go figure, infinitely more comfortable with with shoes on. I used to tear my feet up using these guys. 1, 2. A lot of people think I'm crazy for weight training in my bare feet, but that's essentially what I used to do. I just considered it a way to enforce proper technique, proper form. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you could drop the weight and break your foot. Well, if you drop a weight on your foot wearing these shoes, you can break them anyway, so it doesn't really matter at that point. It's 9 and 10. Ooh, I barely completed that one. Oh, geez Louise. Okay. So with that done, it's now time for a water break. I'll be right back. Let's see how well you can hear me speak as I am walking outside. I'm now outside my beautiful, beautiful property, and I can hear all the crickets, all the stuff. It's so nice and cool out here. Very cool indeed. So I wonder if my cats are going to be crying when I open this door. Hi, baby.
Oh, hi, baby.
Yeah, I forgot my water bottle Yeah, that's horrible, right? Yeah, that's the worst. So I have my microphone on. Oh, say hi. Oh, beautiful. Oh my God, that's so cool.
You like it?
I love that. Oh, that's gonna look so good, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're the best. What you making?
Nothing.
Okay.
Just cleaning up the paste.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
There's these holes.
Oh, you put the wood filler in it? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna go back out there.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. I love you. All right, I'm gonna pull this out of my pocket here to see if the level is still being seen, and by Jove it is. You heard all that, didn't you? It's pretty awesome. This wireless system is pretty fucking cool. I do want to say that it does suck that it needs batteries, but what can you do? What more can you ask for, right? So here we are. Boom, I'm back. Thank you so much for waiting. We'll go ahead and let's go in, and I think I look really cool in this light here. And we'll do that and check out these gains. Oh yeah, from last week. I say last week, it was like 2 days ago. Whoa, yeah. Real good stuff. Okay, that was enough of a break. I like to feel my hamstrings after a set because it's just pretty intense. And I like to feel them, you know, harden up, as they say. Okay, and so I think my plan is, since I like to do, you know, the front part and the rear part, as I talked about the other day, I think what I'm gonna do after this is do some ab work, some core work, using my monkey feet, kind of highlight what I do with that, and hopefully I don't hurt myself. I don't think I will. I think I kind of know what I'm doing, but all I can do is hope. So, okay, here we go. We are doing 8 this time. So, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8. Amazing. It's really amazing how good that feels. It simultaneously sucks and feels great at the exact same time. And that is the best thing. It is the best thing. A lot of times, you know, I find it funny. I've been contemplating this a lot. You know, the Bible says that the hearts of men are deceitful, and really, that's just a euphemism for emotions and letting that dictate your life. You can, if you follow your emotions and are a slave to your whims, essentially what's going to happen is you're going to be so focused on making yourself happy in the short term that you are not going to achieve anything in the long term. So what you have to do to achieve that balance is you have to hold on. 4. What you have to do to achieve that balance. Oh man. Whew, I fucked that up. All right, so 4. That was 5. Okay. So what you have to do to achieve that balance is you have to take that emotion and stuff it back down. And once you stuff it down, then you are then able to feel the pure joy of overcoming the strength. That was 7. This is 8. Of overcoming. Oh man, my right side is super weak now, amazingly enough. That's so strange. All right, that was 8. And I need another break. So, go figure. Oh, okay. So, you'll feel the pure joy of achieving something. You're basically denying yourself that instant gratification for gratification later, and usually that delayed effect is just so amazing. At least from my experience, it is one of the best things I've ever experienced in my life. Is essentially working out is that too. There are a lot of days I don't want to work out. There are a lot of days I don't want to go to the gym. In fact, sometimes it's really difficult, even though when we lived in the apartment, it was like no more than 1,500 square foot away from me at the furthest point. But then there is also that now I can just walk out to this garage, and it is a very sprawling area. I know you can hear the echo probably in this microphone as well. There's 2-channel audio, so I can even ensure you hear that on the editor as well. Because the editor I use, I can filter out one channel versus the other. Excuse me. Oh man, this water's making me gassy. So yes, the hearts of men being deceitful is just a euphemism for saying do not allow your emotions to control you. Don't be a slave to your whims. Just simply figure out what goal you want to achieve, figure out how to get there, and then balance it out. Withhold the instant gratification for as long as you can until you have a day where it's just like you're breaking down completely. But only after you've made progress, because that first step is going to be the hardest you make. So it's not just a simple one-for-one saying if you're breaking down, if you're having an emotional breakdown, just give into that. It's not as easy as saying that, because then if I say that and you take that to heart, you will never, ever, ever make progress in what you want to do. Okay, that being said, I've rested long enough. Maybe I should have gone down to 15 pounds for this one, but I don't know. Or I should have just done straight hamstring curls. But either way, we're doing 6. 1. And I will finish it out no matter how ugly it is. 2, 3. We are halfway there. 4, 5. Oh, what did I hit? A chair. There's a chair there. 6. And 6. I'm amazed I didn't hit it before. Truly amazed I didn't hit it before. But you're gonna see here now that I've hit 6, and it seems like I was able to muscle my way through that. So maybe 6 reps is the key for longevity. I wonder how many of these I could do in a row. Not that crazy though to just go indefinitely on that. I think if I were to do more after this, I'd kick it down to 15 or 10 and just do slow and hold. That's probably what we'll do next. If I don't go straight into core, we'll see what I decide to do. This is how I allow myself to free flow. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, one more. 6. 6, okay. All right. So then the next one, oh man, I'm getting lightheaded. Oh boy, get down and down. Oh. So if you ever get lightheaded, laying down helps tremendously, as it will increase blood flow to your brain. And right then I stood up and I started seeing stars. And I'm very sweaty, and that is the precursor to passing out. I am a high pass out risk for giving blood, and I've passed out a number of times in my life. So this is one of those things that you're seeing firsthand, that when I work out and I'm seeing a bug or It's a spider, I think. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna be able to show you guys, unfortunately. But there's a spider hanging up in that light right above me. Yeah, you guys are first-hand witnesses to see that even I push it too far sometimes, and then I just have to relax. Remember, when you're on a fitness journey, your health is the most important thing. Safety is the most important thing. They say rule number 1 is don't lift with your ego, and while I take that to heart, sometimes you have a goal to hit and you want to hit that goal. It's important to push it, but it is also important to trust your body. And if your body is telling you you're going to tear something or you're going to pass out, you need to listen to it and do what you have to do to remain safe, because if you injure yourself or you get hospitalized, you're only setting yourself back in the long term. You're going to miss so many opportunities to get right back to where you were or to progress even more. So your volume of training at the end of the year is going to be worse. That's if you're training for actual competition or something. For me, it's just to maintain and to be healthy. It's also a way to purge emotion, that thing that we were just talking about. There are a lot of times where I feel negativity and it prevents me from getting into my Zen state. And if I ever have something that is preventing me from getting into my Zen state, then best thing is to get into this, work that emotion completely out, and then try again to get back into that Zen state and connect. I haven't really been having any difficulties recently. I've been actually really able to control my emotions more, and that's been, a shift from me being alone in this whole thing, on this spiritual journey, and, really accepting Jesus Christ as what he is. And when I put my faith in him and I'm connected to him, and allowing him, inviting him into my presence, and, sometimes he just drops in and is like, hey, I truly feel that whole lesson that I was trying to tell you all before of you're never alone. You are truly never alone. That is something that I don't know, I used to struggle with. I know I said that before in a previous video that, we are never alone, and that's a lesson you need to learn. But sometimes on that spiritual journey, I really did feel truly alone, and I haven't felt that since, my shift. We're going to do one more set of 6. Maybe I'll do 4 and 2. We'll see how it goes. I usually like to just try to power through and get it over with. But I'm going to try to get this over with so I can move on to something that I'm not as struggling with. I like to power through these things and whatnot. And then there is another cool thing I need to tell you about today, but I need to be able to focus to tell you that. So just give me a minute. All right, here we are. And the goal is 6. That will end the set. But if I can only do 4, we can only do 4. Remember, don't lift too much with your ego and trust your body. That said, let's go. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we did it, guys. We did that. I just have to do that one more time on the right side, which is apparently my weak side now, which is really blowing my mind because my right side is usually my strong side. In fact, in the last workout video, I was struggling just saying weak and strong versus left and right. And you heard me mix that up a couple times because, hey, I am only human. And I do misspeak quite a bit, as we often do. All right, that said, let's get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. We did it, guys. Props to you, props to me, props all around to all of our lifting family. I don't know where that came from. It was fun to come up with, though. Whew. Okay, so, well, we're in between sets here, in between workouts as well. The other messages that I got today, now there were multiples, but so I had that one message where I saw, you know, the whole DNA strands split and then reconjoined together into 6 strands DNA, and then got that revelation of what is to become of us, what we're going to be able to do. So long as we don't merge with technology, right? That's been a thing that I've said in the past. Do not merge with technology. Don't take the mark of the beast, you know, whatever you want to call it. Merging with technology is bad, but not only did I have that little vision come to me, but every time I tried to connect again, like I usually would when writing for my spiritual journal, what happened today is, and by the way, today is September 16th, 2024, at time of recording. So every time I was trying to connect like I usually would, what would come through is just, you are so loved. You are so very loved. And that is all that I would get. It would just kind of end there. Beyond that one message that I got, I just kept getting a reminder that you are so very loved. And then the next thing that happened is on the way home, or no, not even on the way home. I'm sorry, I'm skipping over a very important detail. I was watching a YouTube video. I'm not going to link it here, or anything like that, because I don't believe in the message, and the reason I don't believe in the message is because quite frankly, it is such a very simple thing where it is just the mistranslation of God's name, Yahweh, and Yeshua's name, which was Jesus, as Yahusha. I think Yahusha? Yeah, Yahusha. So it is basically what they were saying. It was Yahuwah and Yahusha is what the name, the actual name should be. And if you're praying to Jesus, you're praying to a demon, and this content creator was literally claiming that there is no power in the name, but I have actually experienced quite a different effect when you know, in my day-to-day life. And really what I found more interesting than anything is on my personal journey, when you try to connect to these entities, it's more or less the intention you put forth than the actual name. Like, God's not gonna really care if you get his name correct or not. Fun fact from my experience, but you have lots of dogmatic people out there, and you're going to have, you know, this spirit of deception all throughout the place. So just trust your instincts on that. So anyways, I was listening to this video, and then I suddenly was just boom, like an instant. I wasn't even trying to connect, but what I saw is I was floating in the sky, and I was inside of this giant storm cloud. And there's lightning going on all around me, and then all of a sudden in front of me, in lightning, I see God's face, Yahweh's face, as you'd say. But it was like emerging, and it was all lightning, and it was terrifying. I was like the size of his iris. It was so terrifying to be there, and all I felt was this pure rage, just hate being projected towards me. And there's lightning going off all around me and thunder, and then the clouds parted above me and this light shined down, and then Jesus was floating there, and he comes down and he's right next to me. And the sense I got is like, hey, I'm saved by the light of Jesus Christ. And then I looked at Yahweh and said, you can't touch me, I am protected. And he snarled, and he just like came at me. His head, his disembodied face just came right at me like he was lunging at me, and so angry. And then bam, I was back in my chair. And I was just like, okay. And that was like very negative. And what I gathered from that is it was like the Gnostic text is true. So there are two interpretations for that. The first one was that the the first interpretation was that, the classic biblical sense that when Jesus died on the cross for our sins, the blood sacrifice that Judea was doing beforehand, everyone there to repay sin had to kill animal. There was shedding of blood to repay sin for atonement. And when Jesus died, that his perfect blood was the blood sacrifice to wipe the slate clean. And once that happened, we are now technically in the church age, or the age of grace, as they say. Because we're in that age of grace, or the church age, basically while we continue to sin, all we have to do is pray to Jesus for forgiveness, and then boom, that his blood will cover that. All we have to do is accept the gift. So they say. And so we're coming to the end of the church age. Now, a lot of people are like, well, God doesn't just forget. He's like, well, we are saved by that. Basically what he's doing is he's taking all our sins and he's building them up until the time of the end times comes, and then he's just going to dump it all on us once the age of grace expires. I don't know about you, but they say God is an all-loving God. That doesn't sound like something that an all-loving God would do. I don't know. Kind of crazy. But then there's that's what they say, and that leads to the end times, and then those that listened will be saved, taken up, and all that stuff. What the Gnostics say, which is very interesting, is that Yahweh was now this is historically accurate, that Yahweh, he does predate Judea, and he was a small tribe's storm warrior god, and then he eventually became the God of the Bible that we know. Now, in that history lesson, let's just say that in that history lesson, you have the Gnostic text, which kind of parallels that. And what they say is basically that the Creator God is an evil, false God that created this for his sick amusement. There's another thing, I've talked about this before, but there's he's called an archon, and then in the extraterrestrial community, the archons are known as these entities that created this world. They are the creators of the false matrix, and they did it so that way they could take our negative energy. So you take that and you compare it to the Gnostic text. The Gnostic text says that Yahweh is basically a mask for an entity known as Yaldabaoth, and Yaldabaoth is the chief archon who created this world, and he is a false god. And Jesus Christ came from the real creator God of the entire universe, which he came from the light realm. And he came here to liberate us, to show us the way to be liberated. And so I don't know. I don't know which one to believe. I said this in the Let's Walk video. All I know for sure is that Jesus Christ is the cheat code. He is the door. He is the way. Believe in him and you're good. Believe in him. Follow his teachings. Show that level of compassion that he showed to everyone around him. And literally just be in that loving energy and you'll be good to go. But what I can say is today was a very interesting day to have that vision where I am just in front of him and feeling that hatred, that wrath. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? I'm just a human and I'm like literally just basking in the light of Jesus, and you hate me for this? Like, what the hell? So I was feeling very negative, and then on the way home, I was called, because I was in turmoil. That made me feel very negative. And then it was nice to see that Jesus had my back, as he always does. But I'm going to go ahead and do some core. So I'm going to set up for that while I'm telling you about this. So on the way home, I was called to connect. I was called to turn off my radio and connect to Jesus. And here, let me explain what I'm doing. I'm taking these 10-pound dumbbells, and what I'm doing is I'm going to attach my monkey feet to them, attach them to my feet, and then I'm going to do single leg reverse crunches. So anyways, on the way home, I was called to connect again. So what I did is I shut off the radio and really connected. And Jesus told me that I don't have to worry about the tribulation whatsoever. I can literally stop thinking about it if I want to, and things will be fine because I am awake. I will not be deceived. I know the signs to look for. I'm very much surrounded in that Holy Spirit. And then I got a message to send to one of my friends. I'm not going to post that here because number one, I don't want to put personal business out there, and number two, I would have to ask him for permission, and right now I'm in the zone. I'm not going to do that. So I gave him the message that was sent to me, and he said it was relevant, and it kind of blew my mind. My big thing is that I have some doubts, right? Just because my experiences, and I talked about it, a lot, is that I have doubts. We all have doubts. It's kind of crazy when you're told that you have this gift and you're shown your gift over and over and over again. And it's just one of those things, it's just, I don't know. And it's kind of crazy. So, all right, got our 10-pound dumbbells attached here, and I'm gonna try to do the actual raise and see how that works without anything. Hopefully this stays in my pocket. We will see. 3, 2, 1. Oh wow! Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Oh, it's pretty harsh on the spine, but I don't want to overdo it, so we're sticking with 12 right now. We'll rest for a minute or so and go on from there. But to pick up where I left off, so I sent my message to my friend, and he said that it was actually very relevant, and he told me why, so that was spot on. And then I sent one to 2 more friends, and the other one was spot on. And though they both, I don't know, I guess the two of them had some secret stuff going on, but when I was thinking of my other friend to send stuff to, he's recently gone through a huge positive turn. Not to put his stuff out there, he's made some really healthy choices. He's come to know Christ recently, and former atheist, all that stuff. So he's made some really good changes beyond that. Not just that, actually his good decisions led to this, not the other way around. So he's done that, and when I think of him, I just see his being, and he's got the light going on inside of his body, and it's really healing him. And all I saw was just endless peace within him. And actually, fun fact, he actually was saying that he was super tired, but he knew why, and he was having a bad day. It was just turmoil because lack of sleep. So it wasn't anything like the other two. So the fact that neither of the other two were telling me what's going on, and yet I was like, hey, I have these messages, here they are, and they were accurate, really helps me double down. Although, to be as objective as possible, there was one where I was like, hey, he's at complete peace, and he was not. He was in turmoil, but it wasn't like he had a major life decision to make, or that he's been in some long-term turmoil. He's actually resolved a lot of his problems recently. So that's my justification for that, and trying to make sense of all of that. And as I'm working out and while I'm documenting this, I'm feeling the light enter me. I'm feeling this negativity disperse. And I literally just, I got more messages to double down. And I already know the truth. And that's the thing, is I've already known for a very long time what the truth is. And at this point, I'm just trying to argue nuance, and there's no reason to argue nuance when you know what the goal of everything is. All right, we're gonna do single leg this time. I'm gonna see if this falls out of my pocket. We'll see what happens. So, one. 2, it almost fell out. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it'd fall out if I wasn't here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's funny. Oh, the single legs burn more. Doing the double leg hurts more, like my back, like my spine, but actually doing these single legs, I'm feeling it burn more in my core. So I think I'm just gonna stick with doing those for now, and we're gonna stick with sets of 12. We're gonna do this a couple more times, and then I'm gonna do calf raises. I'm probably gonna have to set the camera up at a different location to do those. I'm probably gonna have to angle it more this way, because I do them on the stairs. I know I showed you the other day that I had those 2 blocks that I had, but I don't usually use those for calf raises if I have stairs, because stairs are so much better for that. Having a connection to the other side like I do is, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I've said that before. Spiritual awakenings and being within in the spirit is not all that fun. It can be very exhausting, especially when you have an idea and you're set on what you're going to do. You have a plan, and that plan gets ruined and just tossed out the way. And it's like, sorry, we're going to ruin your emotional day because you have something more important that you need to do or that you need to discuss. Kind of crazy, kind of intense, but hey, it'd be like that sometimes. And it really brings me joy to make these videos, even though not a lot of people watch. One, that's okay. I'm not very motivated. 2, this just brings me joy to be able to do this all. Spread the message, get validity from my friends, give it, and it's essentially help them out. That's 5. Just helping people brings me so much joy. 7, 8. This is so much harder this time. 9, 10. Whoa, we'll call it a 10 that time. Oh, that was really getting it. Whew. So we did bis and tris the other day, and I'm really feeling it in my tricep. My left side is feeling it more. As I said, my left side is weaker than my right, even though my left sometimes looks like, it's like my right looks more toned than my left. My left looks bigger, but it's weaker. Most times, I don't know, my right leg was, my right hamstring was weaker than my left one today, so I don't know what that means, if anything. As you see, as time goes on, the sun is setting. It's getting darker, but again, I don't have professional lighting set up or anything like that. So this is what we got, and this is what we do. But I don't know. If you ever have any questions or anything as it relates to spiritual, mind, body, spirit, always feel free to comment. I don't have YouTube on my phone, but because I just use the mobile browser and I'm not signed in, so that's predominantly how I use it. Excuse me. And so that means I can really only check comments on my laptop or my tablet, but really responding is a whole keyboard. I'd want a full keyboard for that. So, but as you can see, consistent uploads are happening. I'm trying to make this a, a consistent thing and really checking to make sure this is all good. I checked it last time and it died at one point during the workout. So I still have to go through that footage and edit it and see where it died. But hey, busy weekend as always, busy life. Trying to make this consistent. That kind of flows back into what I was talking about just a minute ago, and I'm really trying to be consistent with this and provide you all a steady stream of content. And maybe I'll get to a point where I can give you daily uploads on what the Spirit's been telling me that day, what Jesus has in store, and what he wants to say. I don't know. All I can do is trust in the journey, trust the energy, trust Jesus, and go from there. 1, 2, 3. I think too many people get dogmatic. 4, and they really are just living their lives, putting everything in Jesus' hands, and not taking accountability for their lives, and just hoping for him to come, and they just don't live an active life or a meaningful life. Oh God, that's dead. Or anything. And I say this a lot, but it really took me walking away from everything to get to the point where I was able to find my purpose and to really find that personal relationship. So many people just talk about building that personal relationship by doing it the way they did it, but no two people's journey are going to be exactly the same. And I do love that, that everyone is trying to help people, but too many people saying too many different things is just going to cause a rift and conflict. And when you have at least two opposing ideologies, they're at least going to butt heads at least one point. And just find what works for you, what calls to you, what brings you joy, and do that thing. And so long as you're not, killing anyone or tearing their whole character down, you're not causing a lot of people unnecessary strife and damage, then I think you're pretty well set, and you're doing pretty good for yourself there. Now, I can already see a lot of people are like, well, you're talking about Jesus Christ, and then you're saying, do what makes you feel good, and then you're not giving God the glory and everything. Look, glory always goes to God more than anything, and the reason for that is because without God, none of this would exist. We wouldn't exist. All of that. People are so quick to point out, oh, well, you're doing this and you have this. This is a form of idolatry. And what they're doing is they're just sitting there casting judgments on other people, and they fail to realize that this trait is what pushes people away from the faith, then brings them in. The only reason that I'm here is not because of a conversation that I had with any Christian trying to bring me back. What it came from is literally Jesus Christ coming to me when I said, I feel like I can't trust this plethora of spirits that I'm talking to, so I want to talk to the real thing. And I went directly to the source. My path immediately changed once I put that in there, and I went straight to Jesus Christ for the truth. And that's what you got to do. I have a personal relationship with God, and it was in talking to my Christian father when he was trying to, he grown up Christian most of his life. We were raised Christian, and we were having a conversation, and I told him, I have a personal relationship with God, and he was like, that's exactly what you need. And most Christians preach going to church, and that's my idea of a Christian. I see most Christians not practicing their faith. I see them going to church once every Sunday to sing songs and read half a chapter of the Bible and then go live about their life in judgment of others instead of living in light and love and trying to spread peace. We're all humans having a human experience, and I understand that. But when I see that, that's why I used to say I am not a Christian, because I don't do that. I am a spiritual person. I am a spiritualist because I have an active, living connection, and I commune with God. And then it was through talking to him that it is just as important to have a personal relationship as a communal relationship, because who you surround yourself with is, from my interpretation, who you surround yourself with is a reflection of your energy, what you're bringing to yourself and what you're putting out into the world. So if you're surrounding yourself with positive, uplifting people, that is also what you're putting out into the world. If you're surrounding yourself with judgmental people who just complain about every little thing, that is what you are putting out into the world. And everything is a reflection. So it was in talking to him that I found that out, that you need a personal relationship as well as a communal relationship with everyone around you and the circle of people you have, and your group style of worship. And then in addition to that, I found that the whole thing to my resistance to Christianity was people. It was the actions of humans. It's that whole debate that, well, you have a guy who is a murderer and he accepts Jesus and prays daily. Because he accepted Jesus, he's going to heaven. Meanwhile, the person who did nothing but did a bunch of community work and was very uplifting and would never hurt a fly, but just because they were Buddhist, they're going to go to hell. That seems unfair, and that is not an argument I can even possibly be a part of anymore, just because of what I know. And part of that is embodying the faith and doing the actions. The actions mean just as much as the words. In fact, the actions oftentimes mean more than just the words. Regurgitating the words. If you live in the light of love, you're going to experience positivity. And what I mean by that, it's not as simple as saying, well, I'm a conservative, or I'm a liberal, so I'm in love, or anything like that. What it means is that you treat your fellow human with compassion. And that means finding people that are opposite of you and treating them with the love that you would treat a family member or yourself, because even though you're different, we all have our own struggles. And it's up to you to decide to be a part of uplifting, an uplifting part of that person's journey, or the part that drags them down. Well, with that said, I feel like I am descending into shadows. Got this nice overhead light, though, that's going to do that. And I know I said that I was going to do calves, but I don't feel like doing calves right now. It's getting really dark, and I'll probably do those tomorrow. So I'm either going to upload this without doing calves, or I'm going to do part 2 tomorrow. So either way, if you would like more on the mind, body, spirit, like and subscribe. We've got a plethora coming for you. Everyone, my name is Ken, aka The Phoenix, and I will see you next time.